Step into a world where elegance meets nostalgia, where the past blooms beautifully in your backyard. The Victorian Cottage Garden is more than just a collection of flowers. It's a romantic escape wrapped in color, scent, and charm. In this video, we'll explore how to create your own enchanting oasis filled with timeless appeal. Whether you're working with a sunny corner, a small patio, or a lush backyard, this guide is for you. We'll uncover classic design ideas, romantic plant selections, vintage accents, and DIY tips, perfect for turning even the smallest space into a dream garden. Think of it as painting your garden with history and heart. So, grab a cup of tea, sit back, and let's bring some Victorian charm into your outdoor space. And don't forget, if you love gardens that bloom with meaning and memory, please subscribe, like this video, and leave a comment below sharing your garden dreams. A true Victorian cottage garden starts with structure, just like a well-loved novel begins with a strong setting. Think gently winding pathways, elegant borders, and romantic archways that guide the eye. These features lend a sense of intimacy, making the space feel both curated and wild. With natural stone edging and classic wrought iron, every step becomes part of the story. Use soft curves and cozy nooks to create inviting areas within the garden. A meandering path encourages discovery, while trellises, obelisks, and vintage fencing offer vertical interest and classic beauty. These elements echo the Victorian love for order softened by nature's touch. Don't worry if your space is small. A narrow walkway lined with herbs or bricks laid in a herringbone pattern can define areas with both charm and function. A well-planned layout helps even a modest garden feel like a timeless retreat. Victorian cottage gardens are known for their lush, romantic plantings that spill over paths and fill the air with fragrance. Think soft pastels, blush pinks, creamy whites, gentle lavenders, paired with timeless textures like velvety rose petals and delicate foxglove bells. These plants don't just look lovely, they invite birds, bees, and butterflies, bringing the garden to life. Traditional favorites include old-fashioned roses, peonies, hollyhocks, delphiniums, and sweet peas. Their blooms create layers of height and color, from tall spires to mounded borders. Victorian gardeners often blended perennials with self-sowing annuals for a carefree, ever-changing tapestry that blooms through the seasons. When planning your palette, look for plants that thrive in your region and lean into a color story that speaks to your heart. Romantic doesn't have to mean fussy. Many of these heritage plants are surprisingly resilient and low maintenance with the right care. A Victorian garden wouldn't be complete without fragrance, those sweet, nostalgic scents that linger in the air and stir the soul. Lavender, honeysuckle, sweet peas, and old garden roses offer more than just beauty. They perfume your space, inviting quiet moments of calm and joy every time you pass by. Fragrant plants can be placed along pathways, near seating areas, or beside doorways, where their scent is easily enjoyed. Consider herbs like rosemary and thyme for a refreshing, earthy aroma. Meanwhile, jasmine and lily of the valley add elegance and an unmistakable air of romance. When choosing, think about the timing and layering of scents. Select plants that bloom at different times, from spring through late summer. This way, your garden becomes a living potpourri, always offering something new to smell and savor. Victorian cottage gardens aren't just for admiring, they're for enjoying. Adding vintage-style furniture invites you to sit, relax, and truly take in the beauty around you. Think wrought-iron benches, weathered wooden chairs, or delicate bistro sets with scrollwork details. These timeless pieces blend naturally into the scene, as if they've always belonged. Look for pieces with curves, patinas, and charming imperfections. A white painted iron bench beneath a rose arbor or a chippy painted table nestled in the lavender makes the garden feel lived in and loved. These furnishings bring a sense of history, and they offer cozy corners for tea, reading, or chatting with a friend. Even in small spaces, a single seat with a floral cushion can transform a corner into a sanctuary. Use vintage linens, lace throws, or a small table with mismatched teacups to complete the look. Comfort and charm go hand in hand in the Victorian cottage garden. Victorian cottage gardens are filled with hidden treasures, small decorative accents that spark curiosity and charm. Think old watering cans nestled in flower beds, rusted lanterns hanging from tree branches, or delicate bird cages filled with moss and blooms. These touches add soul and a touch of whimsy, making your garden feel like a storybook come to life. Choose weathered items that tell a tale. Galvanized metal, chipped porcelain, and time-worn wood all enhance the vintage feeling. A salvaged window frame can become a backdrop, while an old wheelbarrow planted with geraniums becomes a focal point. Every object can serve both as art and memory. Let your creativity guide you. Visit flea markets or repurpose items you already own. These small pieces, thoughtfully placed, make your space personal and poetic. A garden filled with antique touches is one where history and heart bloom side by side. Victorian cottage gardens are often enclosed, offering a sense of privacy, intimacy, and old-world charm. A simple picket fence or wrought-iron gate defines the space while letting beauty spill over its edges. These boundaries aren't just functional, they're deeply romantic, inviting you into a world that feels set apart and lovingly kept. White wooden fencing, softened by roses or morning glories, adds structure and nostalgia. Meanwhile, aged ironwork provides a graceful heirloom look that complements the flowing nature of cottage planting. Gates and arbors at entry points create a storybook welcome, hinting at the magic that lies beyond. Even low stone walls or reclaimed wood panels can work beautifully, especially when softened by trailing greenery. Boundaries can be porous yet purposeful, framing your sanctuary without feeling too rigid. In a Victorian garden, even a fence feels like poetry. In a Victorian cottage garden, every path feels like a gentle journey. Rather than rigid walkways, think soft, meandering trails made from gravel, reclaimed brick, or stepping stones. These charming routes don't just lead the eye, they invite the soul to wander. Ground covers like creeping thyme or moss fill the spaces in between with softness and scent. Aged brick laid in herringbone or basketweave patterns creates a timeless look underfoot. Gravel adds a satisfying crunch as you walk, while flat stepping stones surrounded by fragrant chamomile or alyssum bring a sense of enchantment. These surfaces are forgiving, textured, and oh so romantic. Let nature soften the edges. Encourage low-growing plants to spill across the borders. Even in small spaces, the mix of paths and plantings brings dimension and grace. With each step, your garden becomes more than a place. It becomes an experience. Arbors and trellises are the soul of vertical beauty in a Victorian garden. These elegant structures add height, frame walkways, and create romantic passageways through cascades of blooms. Whether made of iron, wood, or repurposed vintage materials, they give climbing plants a place to reach for the sky, and hearts a reason to linger. Climbing roses, clematis, wisteria, or sweet peas are perfect companions for these structures. As they grow, they soften the lines of the arbor and transform it into a living arch. Trellises against walls or fences become vertical tapestries of color and scent, weaving life upward in graceful motion. Place an arbor at the entrance to invite visitors, or use a trellis to divide garden rooms. Their visual impact is immediate and enchanting. With time, these pieces become part of the landscape, offering a touch of grandeur while staying rooted in romantic simplicity. The soft trickle of water brings serenity to any garden, and in a Victorian cottage setting, it's a natural complement to the floral abundance. A vintage-style birdbath, bubbling fountain, or even a small pond adds gentle sound, movement, and a sense of calm. It becomes a place where time slows and nature draws near. Choose a piece that feels aged and poetic, perhaps a moss-kissed stone bowl or an ornate cast-iron fountain. The goal is to blend seamlessly with your plants, not overpower them. Birds, butterflies, and bees will flock to drink and bathe, bringing more life and joy to your garden daily. Even a small courtyard can benefit. A pedestal birdbath under a rose tree or a tabletop fountain on your patio transforms the space with little effort. These features nurture not just your plants and wildlife, but your spirit as well. As the sun sets, a Victorian cottage garden transforms into a glowing sanctuary. Gentle lanterns, candlelit paths, and soft string lights create a golden hush over blooms and branches. The warmth of light bouncing off petals and wrought iron invites slow strolls and quiet moments under the stars. Opt for antique-style fixtures, oil lanterns, fairy lights in mason jars, or solar lamps with ornate metalwork. Nestled among the flowers or hanging from arbors, they enhance the romantic feeling without overpowering the garden's natural charm. Lighting softens every edge and brings new life to textures after dusk. A small fire pit or vintage chiminea can add both warmth and atmosphere. Whether you're enjoying evening tea or hosting a gentle garden gathering, evening ambience turns your space into a timeless retreat where memories bloom long after sunset. As you've seen, a Victorian cottage garden isn't just about plants and paths. It's about creating a world that feels timeless and deeply personal. Every rose arch, every stone path, and every vintage touch brings your story to life in the language of flowers and fragrance. Your garden becomes a living memory, a space to nourish the soul. Whether you're just beginning or refining what you've already planted, trust your instincts and let the past guide your inspiration. The beauty of the Victorian style lies in its balance between elegance and nature's wild charm. There's no need for perfection, just authenticity, romance, and love for the land. Thank you for joining me on this journey through Victorian garden beauty. If this inspired you, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Garden Blooms. Bring garden to life for more timeless garden ideas. Your dream garden awaits, one bloom at a time.